my fuel, well, I wasn't talking about it. I was thinking about it. You know, thinking about it in my brain. And I was like, I wonder if I'm going to hit reserve soon. Oh, there's a little trail here. Woo-hoo! And it got me thinking about a time. It was this time of year, a friend of ours went camping. And I went down to see them and their kids. Whoa! Right on 27. I think I want to go right on 26. Yeah, let's go down in here. And I went out to visit them while they were camping, you know, and our kids were our kids wanted to see their kids, that type of thing, you know. And while I was there, and talking, all of a sudden a motorcycle comes around the corner, and it's getting dark, right? It's getting dark. It's kind of like dusky, and there was no sound to this motorcycle. It was just kind of woo, you know. I thought, what are they doing coasting? And then I listened a little closer, and it wasn't coasting. It was an electric bike. It was a Zero, and it was a dual sport. And so I flagged him down. He kind of went around on the campsite, and he was coming back. I flagged him down. I was like, hey, that's an electric bike, right? And he's like, yeah. And so I was talking to him. And I started asking him all these questions. You know, I was like, does it have engine braking? Does it have, you know, do you have a clutch? Do you have this? Do you have that? And, you know, do you have to keep on the gas, or does it coast? If you take off the gas, can you just, you know, coast? Or is it constant on and off? And I just started asking him all these questions. And the guy goes, you know, and I told him I ride and I have, you know, motorcycles, blah, 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 blah. And he goes, well, here, find out for yourself. And he gave me the keys and his helmet. And so I took it for a ride. And he actually said that he's taking to hit somebody. He got stuck. He showed me some pictures. And he had a YouTube channel, but I can't remember what it was. He didn't have many videos. He wasn't a vlogger. He was just like, you know, he posted some videos every now and then. And that was one he showed. It was like, I'm stuck in the mud on my Zero electric bike. But it was interesting. It was very interesting. It was, of course, I had all these questions about how much was the range and how much was the cost and blah, 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 blah. Well, it turns out at the time, I don't know if this is still the cost, it probably is, but it was 15 grand. I was like, what? You know, me who pays $1,500 for a motorcycle that I'm riding now, and thinking I can't afford this. No, I could. I pay cash. But I'm just saying, you know, it's like, holy cow, that's a lot of money for a bike that only does 100 miles to the charge. And he had an iPhone, and he had this app that hooked up to it, and he showed you all this cool stuff. And I was just like, the only thing I kept thinking about is, well, you can't go that far, dude. And then when you like get to the end of your tank or whatever, your charge, you better be at your house, right? Or where in the heck are they going to let you just plug it in, or does it, you know, anyway. But let me tell you the experience I had while I was riding it. Okay, it was a blast for like 10 minutes. The torque was unreal. It was just instant whoosh, you know, you just flip that wrist and wow, you're gone. And it was fun. But there was nothing for your left appendages to do. Nothing. You know, there was no shifter, no clutch. They made the foot brake on the right, like, you know, like a normal motorcycle. Ow, not like a mountain bike. And the thing was, as I spit leaves out of my mouth. The thing was a blast, but after 10 minutes, I was like, okay, I'm done. You know? And it reminded me of my scooter. I had a little Honda Spree scooter. And that one also, the reason it reminded me of it, because it was like it wouldn't let you do anything with your left appendages. Like, except, actually, I think a brake on that scooter was on the left, but let's go 25. And so, would I buy one? If they were like $500, sure. But being 15,000, I was, no. Not until they increased the range. And now, I've heard there's another bike out there, not the Zero company, it's a different manufacturer. I think I can't remember, it's Rambo maybe. Jay Leno did a thing on it, and it had gears. And so, that was, slippery mud. That would be more interesting. You don't need to shift, I guess. I mean, I don't know if keeping the RPMs down will increase the battery or, give you extra drive time, but they do have one that you can shift. This is a big downhill into a puddle, which was not deep. I thought it was going to be deep. Woo! And more deep, more puddles. And so, that's my take. Until they... Now, like I said, if they were cheaper and you could, commute on them, that'd be kind of cool. But not for what I want to do. When I want to get on a motorcycle, I want to go somewhere. I don't want to have to worry about where I'm going to go.